I want you to hear that this moment isn't asking you to become someone else. Instead, I'm asking you to stop shrinking what you already do. Stop leading without being paid what your value is, and stop pretending that you're just supporting. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Quiet Leaders Podcast. In the last episode, I shared what I've been seeing behind the scenes with integrators right now. And in this episode, I want to go a layer deeper. Because once you realize, oh wow, that is totally me, then your next question typically becomes, why does this feel so hard to change, even when I know I'm capable of more? And the answer isn't really what most people would think. So let me tell you what nearly every behind the scenes support person that I've been talking to truly has in common. And even though their businesses can look totally different on the surface, some might be virtual assistants, some are online business managers, some are project managers, some specialize in systems, and some may already be doing COO level work, or maybe they're even still in the corporate world doing similar things. But underneath all of that, I've been seeing a shared pattern. And they didn't enter this work because they wanted this power or this visibility for themselves. Instead, they entered this type of work because they're perceptive. They really care deeply. They see what needs to happen. They know how to make things work. And they naturally are responsive leaders. And that's what really matters. So I want to share an example with you that I have seen again and again, talking behind the scenes with other integrators. And typically people will tell me something like this. I run the back end of my client's business. I manage the timeline. I translate ideas into action. I'm the one everyone checks with before decisions are made. But when someone asks what I do, I freeze. And they'll say things like, I don't want to oversell myself. I don't know what to call what I do. I feel like I'm doing the work, but I don't really have a title. And this isn't imposter syndrome. This is a language gap or a positioning gap. And they've really grown into this leadership through their action. But no one has ever given them the words to stand in it. Now, another pattern that I see a lot is the integrator who is fully booked, but still underpaid and overstretched. And they'll say things like, I can't take on another client, but I also can't afford to drop one. Or they're often the longest standing team member, the one who knows where everything lives, or the person clients say, I don't know what I would do without you. And yet, they're still operating in a role defined years ago. Before the business grew, before the responsibility grew, before they grew. And the frustration isn't about the workload, it's really about this misalignment that is happening. So something else that I'm noticing, and this feels important to say, and it's that many integrators are navigating life transitions alongside their business growth. They're dealing with parenting, caregiving, health shifts, they're leaving corporate roles, they're supporting other family members. And these seasons can really sharpen your leadership skills and fast because they've learned how to prioritize, how to make decisions under pressure, how to hold complexity without panicking. But they also make safety matter more. So when someone says, you should raise your rates, you should reposition, you should step more into a strategic role, your nervous system does not hear growth. Instead, it hears risk. And that's why this shift feels so heavy. And with all of those things going on in their life, they feel like taking this shift is causing or creating this big risk for them instead of repositioning for the reward, right? And another thing that I want to name, the integrator who knows that they're ready for more, but feels almost embarrassed about admitting it. And they'll say something like, I don't want to sound arrogant. I don't want to make my client uncomfortable. What if I say I'm strategic and then I'm expected to be perfect? So instead, they keep overfunctioning, they keep doing the work, they keep carrying all this weight, hoping that someone will eventually notice. And this is where resentment can really start to creep in. And not towards your clients necessarily, but towards yourself. And here's something I want to be very clear about. This is not solved by pep talks, by posting more on social media, by acting confident, because the issue isn't confidence. It's the identity lag. Your role has already evolved, but your positioning, your language that you're using, and also your internal permission have not caught up yet. And that gap can feel really uncomfortable. And if no one names it, people assume that they are the problem when you're really not. It goes back to these gaps that we have, right? So if you're listening and you're thinking, wow, I feel really called out right now, I want you to hear that this moment isn't asking you to become someone else. Instead, I'm asking you to stop shrinking what you already do. Stop leading without being paid what your value is, and stop pretending that you're just supporting and you're not behind. Instead, you're standing on that edge. You're standing on the edge between being helpful and being the strategic partner. And that edge can be uncomfortable by nature. And I think back to a pretty, I'd say, famous, what are those called? Like cartoon graphics where a man is in a cave and he's hammering at the back of the cave to hopefully find diamonds. And he is inches away from hitting all of these diamonds on the other side, but instead he turns around and gives up. And that is what I keep picturing as I went through this episode of all of these aspiring integrators or people who are already doing integrator level work. You are chipping away at your next step and you are close, so close to hitting that diamond, to getting over the edge or filling this gap between where you are now and where you are meant to be. So don't turn back. It's just going to take a little bit of a push to get through that gap and everything will change. So if this episode is resonating, and if you heard yourself in the examples that I shared, I want to invite you to continue this conversation with me live. And on February 11th at 1 p.m. Central, I am hosting a free training called From Task Support to Strategic Partner, the shift most integrators never make. And in this training, we will talk about why so many integrators get stuck in roles even when they're leading. What actually changes when you move from being helpful to being a strategic partner, and how to begin repositioning yourself without burning bridges or starting over. So if these episodes feel like they're really naming something that you've lived but never really had the words for, this training will meet you right there. You can find the details to save your spot in the show notes. And again, I hope to see you there, and I will see you in the next episode.